Tubers, Tibets, and the ever-widening circle of crazy people. So many people are moving to Dumaguete. Why is that? Well, I got together with three guys who, believe it or not, are all celebrating their 1-year anniversary of living here. And in the video, all three of them, and they're all got separate opinions and ideas as to, number one, what motivated them to leave the States and retire in the Philippines, and more specifically here in Dumaguete, and what their experience has been like from day one to today, which is 1 year later. So we're going to dive deep into their motivations, what they have found, what they like, what they don't like, and what their future plans are. So here we go. Without further ado, here comes my little video. Alrighty, so here are the three guys that have just had their 1-year anniversary here in the Philippines. And woo! To my left is Danny. In the middle is some guy named Goldfinger. I just met him yesterday. Yeah. To the right, we have our friend Rick, a.k.a. The Judge. And so Rick's never been on the little channel before. So what I want to know from you guys, and Rick, I'll start with you, is what motivated you to retire? What motivated you to move overseas? And then if we drill down even further, why the Philippines? And then if we really pinpoint it, why Dumaguete? Can you give us a little backstory and your journey?
I was married for 32 years. We grew apart. Marriage fell apart. I spent 5 years bouncing around in South Carolina, Georgia, and in the South in the U.S. Dating scene wasn't what it was 32 years before that, and really wasn't enjoying life. So I decided, after watching numerous videos from all sorts of YouTubers, yourself included, because we ended up starting a friendship, chatting back and forth. Cause,
yeah, I remember you used to message me.
Yep,
yeah.
You always answered everything straight up. You didn't try to bullshit me, you didn't try to cloud anything, and that was very appreciated. So I decided to come here, and I figured if I didn't like the Philippines, I'd try Thailand, I'd try Japan, I'd try other places. But I knew exactly what to expect when I came to Dumaguete. I flew into Cebu, wasn't so happy. Cebu's a bigger city, people aren't as friendly, didn't really enjoy my week there. But once I got here, I checked into the hotel, met some very nice Filipinos, and met you for coffee, ran into Danny, ran into Goldfinger. We started a friendship, and there's probably 28 of us or so that hang out in our little expat group. And we've made a very good friendship.
Awesome. So were you disenchanted with your life in America?
Very much. Okay. I really wasn't happy anymore.
What was the core of your unhappiness?
I think loneliness, COVID, and everything else. And then, like I say, try to go out on a date. Everybody wanted to chat online. Nobody wanted to meet you personally. And most of them were scammers trying to just get money.
Are you talking about online in America?
Yeah.
Okay.
All that online in America. I never went on a dating site here at all.
Okay.
I have met a very beautiful Filipina, but it was through another expat and his fiance. And I've been together with her for 10 months now, and we have a very good life together here.
Now, was your primary driver just because you wanted companionship?
No, not at all.
No.
I didn't come here looking for a woman at all.
Okay.
I came here just looking to change my life, start over, and like I say, with friends like you already here, I could just call you up and say, hey Paul, I have a question on this, and you gave me a straight up answer.
Yeah, because what guys do sometimes, I think it's misinterpreted. They hear the word lonely and they think, oh, he's lonely for a woman.
No.
You were just lonely because you were alone.
Yeah.
You know, when you're married like you were, for how many years?
32.
32 years.
Yeah.
And get divorced, the friends tend to split off and they fade away because all your friends primarily were married also. And so now it's just kind of like, you know, me, myself, and I.
Exactly.
Around the house or the apartment or whatever your situation was. So here you didn't necessarily come looking for some little chickie. It was just to get into a vibe or community of people.
Exactly.
Okay, because I heard it recently that all guys come here for the women, and I think that's way too overstated. That not all guys come here
Nope.
for the women. Some guys come here for, just like you said, other guys come for a change of the scenery. A lot of guys come here for economic reasons because they don't want to work anymore and their Social Security or their pension won't cut it.
In the States, I was paying $2,000 a month for a condo.
Uh-huh.
I'm living here for $2,500 a month, and I have a brand new house,
Uh-huh.
and I have money left over every month. I mean, you can live here reasonably. My budget for 4 of us, because my fiance has 2 children, and I take care of all 4 of us on $2,500 a month.
That's awesome.
And like I said, they don't want for anything. I don't want for anything. Everything that if I want something, I can just go buy it because I have a few bucks left in the bank every month.
Another one of the things that is a reality out here, but I think it gets overdone sometimes, is when you're involved with a Filipina, they say you don't marry the Filipina, you marry the family. And indeed that happens.
Yes, it does. But I'm very lucky.
Completely down the rabbit hole on that one.
I'm very lucky. My Filipina, her family's come over and asked to borrow money, and she's the first one to say no.
Okay.
She will not lend, if it's a couple hundred pesos, one thing. But when one of them came over and wanted to borrow 50,000, she said absolutely not. And that's just how it stands.
Awesome. Yeah. Goldie, what's going on with you?
Boy, I have a whole different story. I keep for the girls. It's as simple as that.
We do
I'd
that.
have come sooner if they didn't have COVID. I went to Mexico for 2 years, waiting to get over here. So a lot of guys are scared to come over here because it's a big step to leave your comfort circle. But for me, I had traveled beforehand. I had traveled to many countries. So I spent 2 years in Mexico. Mexico prepared me for the Philippines. Other than the food and language, it's pretty much living standards are the same in Mexico, costs and everything. Now, I only live on $1,000 US a month. I have a lot of money left over, so I bank it, or I've been taking care of donating it for kids or things like that because I can't take it with me,
Right.
My kids don't need it. I have 2 boys back in the States. They have their own lives. I lost my wife in 2011. We had divorced first in 2010, but I lost her in 2011. So it'd be my ex-wife. And I was pretty bored. I was. But I lived in Las Vegas. And pretty much bought my friendship there. I had a lustful life.
Okay.
And it was expensive.
Yeah.
And without going into details, I came over here for girls. I really did. I came over with girls.
That's fair enough.
And it's honest, okay? And
Sure.
I wanted to come a lot sooner, but I couldn't because of COVID. So when I finally got here, I had a good old time. However, I also did not like Cebu. And I left it right away. Came over in January 12th or 13th to Dumaguete here. I had known you a long time beforehand.
Right.
Because we both went to the same high school. So I had known you for a long time, and I had followed you before you even hit 1,000 members. So I've been watching your vlogs a lot, and I'm going, I got to get over there. There's really cute girls over there, okay? But then I found one that I don't want to let go, So I fell in love. Okay, I did go through 4 or 5, and yes, I got ripped off, like most expats get ripped off. I didn't care. I really had fun. I don't see it as ripped off. I was entertained, okay? I paid for entertainment.
Yeah.
They made some money. They weren't truthful or honest. And there's a lot of girls that will, not be 100%. But then I found one. Carolyn also does not let me loan money to her family. She never asked me for money. She's never asked me for money. I offer her money every month. She doesn't want it. I told her I'd give her money to send home to her mother. Province girl. She won't take it. So I've never really given her money except for just recently to start a new business for her. That's the first time I've ever loaned. And she keeps talking about how she needs to pay me back.
Okay.
And she insists upon she's going to pay me back.
So
Okay,
this video is kind of like MythBusters.
Yeah.
Where all the guys are
Yeah.
getting,
it's a little different.
you know, what do you think the key is? I'll get to Danny in just one sec, but Goldfinger and Rick, what do you think the key is to these women that, and my wife is the same way, that don't want you to give anybody money? What's the dynamic behind that?
Well, they worked hard for what they have. Nobody's ever gave them anything, and they've worked hard for it, and they want to see me continue living my lifestyle. And if I give all my money to one of their relatives, then they're not going to have the money to play with. And like, Wilma's never asked me for a penny.
No,
I have to force her to take money every month
she won't.
just to go to the grocery store and do stuff. And I don't want her walking around with empty pockets.
And you were here for 2 months before you met Wilma,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so, were you actively looking for a woman at that time? or
Not at all.
You were just hanging out?
I was
Making
just hanging
friends?
out. I'd go out to dinner occasionally with friends, and that was it. And I had other expats girlfriends trying to fix me up with 20-year-olds. I didn't want a 20-year-old. I didn't want to. I'm 61. I don't need a 20-year-old.
Sure.
And then one day she says, "Well, I have a cousin that's a little older, but she has 2 children. Does that bother you?" I said, "Well, how old are the children?" She says, 25 and 9. I says, "That's fine." I says, "They're old enough that they can do things with us or whatever." And the oldest one watches the youngest one all the time. She babysits for her. She goes to college.
Great.
And she don't let me pay for her college either. Her aunt helps her with that, and she's going to business school. And the youngest one, she's in grade school, and she's as smart as a whip.
Goldie?
Well, I mean, Carolyn worked very hard as a phone answering service in Cebu and Manila. She also never asked me for any money. She doesn't want any money. I've offered it to her. She won't take it. However, she does tutor, and she does things online to make money. And she makes, I'm going to say, 10 or 15,000 pesos a month. And she sends half the money back home, and the other half she uses for herself. She buys her own personal items, but I pay for the food, the house, and everything else. I'll give her money. Now, it's a little different because usually they say if you give Filipina money, don't expect any change back. Okay, she brings me the change back after she goes shopping. Okay, I go, okay, just put it in the drawer, use it for the next shopping. Okay, I don't actually take it from her. It's like 3,000 pesos, which is, I don't know, it's $55. You know, it's like to go shopping for the week.
Yeah.
It's like, just keep it. You know, maybe there's something you want to get.
I just learned now, you're living on 1,000 a month.
I'm not actually using 56,000 pesos is $1,000, right?
Yeah.
So I'm using 50,000.
Wow.
If I spend 6,000 more, it's for things just little things for personal stuff.
Because your rent's low and you finally bought a motorbike.
I own the motorbike, so all I have is the rent, which is 22,000. What is that? $400, a little under, and electricity. It's like $75. I mean, and the rest is food. I mean, there really isn't anything. I have everything else now. I might have spent more in the first few months when I got here. I know I did.
Everyone does.
Yeah, I know I did because I needed more things. I needed more clothes, or I needed the medicine, But after you've been here for 6 months, you start learning where you should shop and who's higher than the next. You know, where's cheaper. Like I didn't understand Lazada or Shopee, Alibaba, whatever they are. You know, those are really cheap. They come direct from China, and basically it's the same stuff that Amazon's selling, 4 times the price. Yeah. It's the same product. Okay, so now I don't spend $1,000. I don't spend $1,000. Yeah.
Danny, let's finally get to you, buddy. What was your motivation for coming over here, and what was your life like in America?
Spent a lot of years working a lot.
Working.
Yeah. Most of the jobs I had, you don't get a whole lot of time off. I was, in the swimming pool business for a long time. And when everyone else had time off, that's when you needed to work, because that's when they had time to shop. And when summer would come, and the swimming pool business, when a lot of people be taking vacations, that's when you have to work to get the pools built. So there was always work. And then I went to work at a retreat center in Arizona, and there was people from all over the world coming there. And I ran, 2 departments there, sometimes 3, and it was always working all the time. And I liked it, I enjoyed it, but it just come to the points like, okay, I'm done with it now. I can't say that I was necessarily tired with it. I worked a full day before I flew out, just to make sure that I left the place
Yeah.
in good, in good order, for them to carry on without me. But it was just something I did, and I did it willingly, but it started to come into my mind, especially during COVID time, when things start getting shut down. You have time to start watching YouTube and other things, and I started to get the interest of, I was over here before, into the Philippines, into Thailand, different places like that when I was in the Navy.
Okay.
And for some reason, a Thailand thing come up on my YouTube feed, and I started watching a guy who was actually building a retreat over in Thailand. So I watched him as he built that, and then of course from that, the Philippine YouTube start coming in information. Of course, I found your channel amongst others, and I'd been to both places, and I started thinking, you know what? I need to get back over there. I need to go live a life of leisure, which I hadn't been able to do.
Let me stop you there. Why couldn't you live a life of leisure in America?
Well, the cost of it. I
Money.
could.
Okay.
Yeah, I could live. I could afford a car payment. I could afford rent and everything else, as long as I'm working. And I'm thinking, you know what? There's going to come a time when I'm not going to be able to get around anymore. I'm not going to be able to walk well. I'm not going to, and that's not the right time to go out and see the world. I
Right.
need to do it while I can still get around. And of course, I remember this place from being here before in Thailand, and that's started being my motivation. I want to see some more of the world again. You get that travel fever again. The experience when you're in the Navy, you get to see a lot of the world. You start thinking, you know what, I want to get back over there, experience the different cultures again, start doing these things. So that was my motivation.
So that was the primary driver.
That was
very similar to mine.
That was the driver.
Tired of working.
Right.
Didn't want to show up every day.
Right.
And making every month just kind of meet, and then having to work the next month to make that keep yourself going.
Right.
At some point in time, your body's gonna give up, or the
Yeah.
job's gonna fire you, or go out of business, and now what?
Right.
So that was sort of preemptive. Were
Yeah.
you motivated primarily by financial, or was it, did you want to meet a woman, a combination of the two?
It was the ability to travel while I still had the ability to move about.
Okay.
Also, the affordability. There's no way that I was going to be able to travel and do things and work at the same time. You can't afford it while you're working, and because you're paying for being where you are, paying rent and
Yeah.
all that. So it just didn't work out. So I'm thinking, you know what? It's just time for a change. And that was my motivating factor. I liked the Philippines. I liked the environment. I spent most of my life in the desert. I love being around the green.
Yeah.
And of course, I'd worked with a lot of Asian cultures, even Filipino. There's a lot of things I just can appreciate about the culture. And that was,
And
like-
why did you pick Dumaguete? Because all three of you guys just had Dumaguete on your radar.
I definitely had Dumaguete on my radar because there was some Dumaguete vloggers, yourself included. And especially like with your channel, you did like drive-arounds, and I wasn't always not just listening to what you say and this is over here and this is over there. I'm looking to what's on the screen. What's the environment like? What's the town like? What do the buildings look like? I'm remembering all of this, and I'm thinking, you know what? I think I would fit well here. I think I would like it here because I'm not an overly picky guy. So and there is a certain amount of charm that is here.
Okay.
I agree with that.
What was, I'm going to stick with you for a minute, Danny, then I'm going to go back around the room here. What was, when you first got here, let's just say your first week, what was your initial impression? I mean, was it, wow, this is great, or wow, this is weird, or?
It was exactly what I thought it would be.
Okay.
Because I felt like I studied, the environment here well, through the experience of others, other vloggers and stuff. And I landed in Cebu, and the people were great there, and I found it quaint that you could stay in a real nice hotel, look out the back window of the hotel and see a shanty.
Yeah.
Try to cross the highway to go to the big shopping mall, and there's roosters.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not like anywhere else. This is cool. I actually liked it.
Did you like the culture shock?
It was not really a shock though. I pretty much expected it.
Okay.
And by the time I only stayed in Cebu a couple of days, and then my goal was to get to Dumaguete, and make a determination from there whether this is where I wanted to park or not.
Right.
Well, I was about 75% convinced when I got here in Cebu that this was going to be home. And then when I arrived in Dumaguete, within 2 days, I was like 95, 98%.
So you were sold out and radical in 2 days on Dumaguete.
Yeah.
All right, let me take it back to Rick. How about you? When you first got here, what was your initial impression?
Honestly, everything I expected was here because I've been talking to you. And like I said, I checked into the Kingswick Hotel, met some very nice Filipinos. They were going out of their way to direct me to things that expats would not find right away. And they took me under their wing, and they kind of just made sure I didn't get in trouble. They made sure that I didn't get lost, because there are places here that can be dangerous if you're not careful,
Sure.
being a foreigner. And they took me places and showed me things that I would have never found on my own. And like I say, it just expanded from there.
Right on. Goldie?
Well, I actually had a little different experience. I watched several vloggers, okay, and I had nothing to do but that because I was retired. So I watched guys in Manila and Cebu and Angeles City as well as here in Dumaguete. And I did not like Manila. It reminded me of Los Angeles. I didn't want that. I didn't want the traffic or the amount of people. I wanted it quieter. The same with Cebu, pretty much. And Angeles City, I didn't really just want that. Dumaguete just seemed quieter to me. Now, a big pull was you, to be honest. You're making this place crowded, by the way. Okay, you need to cut it out. Okay, too many people are coming here to see you.
Don't say it's good here.
These don't come to Dumaguete. Okay, it's terrible. Okay,
The weather's crappy.
you don't want to come here. Go to another city. Okay, but but once I got here, I was comfortable. It was the guys are cool. They're older. They're my age.
Yeah.
This is an older group. Okay, they're quieter. We call them, and you actually coined the term real expats. Okay, you coined that term. And real expats to me are guys that are like mind. Okay, they're here to enjoy life. They're not here to cause problems. They're not violent or angry. They're not here to take advantage of women, which I wasn't at the time. At the time, I was not a real expat. I'm a real expat now. I was a bad expat, but now I'm a real expat. Okay, so you can change. Promises. But and they give back. They appreciate being here, so they give back to the community.
Yes.
And all of us here, and there's 30 or 40. We go do cleanups. Puerto Republic, Justin. He heads that up. He does cleanups on the beaches and stuff. There's a lot of, and everybody shows up to help. Give out food or Christmas gifts at Christmas time, this past Christmas. or a lot of things. You know, they help people and support people if they open up a new restaurant or a new business. So,
Well, look how many guys showed up for your helmet giveaway.
my
You
God.
put out the
I
word that
could
you
handle it
needed.
all.
You put out the word that you needed help because you had 1,000 or 1,100
I did.
helmets to give out,
1,200.
and the guy that was supposed to bring all the helmets didn't come.
At the last
so
minute,
what
yeah.
happened? 8 of us showed up with vehicles,
Literally.
loaded up
Everybody
cases,
showed
took
up.
them to the school.
brought him over there. I was like fretting because this was the third attempt to have it at the school. And either we had bad weather or we had the governor decided to close the schools down for the day. It was just, third's a charm. So everybody just showed up last minute.
Yep.
They made it happen. I had like 50 people pass out 1,200 helmets. It was incredible. It was almost too much. And we literally finished in, I don't know, a couple hours or
Yeah.
less. It was ridiculous.
Well, that's 50 people wanting to give back
Yes.
into the environment that they
And
enjoy
many,
so much.
many had donated. Many of the people that spent the time also had donated. There were local people as well as people that are not in this country that had donated quite a bit. And it's really nice to see that. It's nice.
So overall, you guys, your experience here has been a positive one. You
Yeah.
don't see any reason
Most
to
definitely.
leave or change or do anything like that. Is this home?
This is home.
I would say,
Home.
I would definitely say this is home.
Yeah.
I've never thought otherwise.
Yeah.
From the moment I got here, I just,
Interesting.
Now I still want to
Go
travel.
figure, what about you? When did you decide this is home? And if so,
This is definitely home.
when did that sink into your brain?
Right away.
Right away.
Right away.
So it wasn't like me. It
I
took 6
was
months, but
openly brought into the group by other expats that had already been here. It just seemed like I had instant friends. Oops, there goes the mic.
the mic.
just go ahead. Yeah.
It went
Did that
it's
mic
over
bite
behind you, Paul.
You know what I mean?
That might bite you.
I'm thinking it's a bug. Let's try it again.
All right, we're okay.
I'm feeling something. I go, there's a bug.
So instantly I felt very comfortable in Dumaguete because like-minded, aged, and guys, and it's just busy enough not to be a big city because I'm from Las Vegas. Las Vegas is way busier. Okay? So, yeah, it is. But I do still want to travel. And I've been to only Siquijor, which is an island off of Dumaguete. I'm going to Cebu this week, actually. I leave for Cebu for 4 days. They have the Sinulog Festival once a year. And I want to see that. I'd eventually like to see other islands, but just short trips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rick,
I came into Cebu during this festival that he's going to see, and it was fabulous. It was a great time. It was a thing that I would love to go see once, but I've been there once. I don't like big crowds.
Right.
I like smaller communities. I grew up on a dairy farm. I'm country boy,
yeah.
and this is home.
All right, so here's one of my last questions. There's our gentleman that we all know, perfectly nice guy, and they can't stand it here. What do you think is the reason that they don't like?
Well, you
here
have to ask him,
in
of course.
Dumaguete? I mean, have you had any conversations with guys? I've
Yeah.
had guys tell me it's the poverty. They get sick of seeing the poverty, the infrastructure, the brownouts, the noise.
Some people can't throw that Western culture out. They cannot walk away from that. They have to have instant service when you go into a restaurant. You're never going to find that here. I spend more money on food every month to feed myself than I do the other 3 girls in my family. Because they love fish, chicken, and all that, and I don't eat any of that.
Well, to me, a lot of it's frame of mind.
Yeah.
You have to have a flexible mind saying, you know what, the world doesn't always turn according to the way, I expect it to. And it's when you come in with certain expectations that you're not going to bend from, you're going to have a miserable time.
Yep.
There's pain in the butt stuff everywhere in the world. And if you look for it, you can find it.
Sure.
And there's beauty everywhere in the world. If you look for it, you can find it.
Maybe
So it's frame of mind.
maybe that person who's not happy is having trouble finding new or making new friends. Maybe he got into the wrong crowd. Maybe he just had bad experiences from the people he did meet here or the restaurants he did visit or the stores. and all of a sudden he's made a decision that this is not right for him. But unfortunately, you got to spend about 90 days. I know it's a long time for a lot of guys to take away for 90 days, but you got to spend more than a week or two here to learn about the culture and the people and everything. And I still find things out new. I just, I've been here a year and I just found something out, I think 2 days ago, new that I didn't know, which is, but honestly, I would never, ever, ever go back to the USA. Okay? And what I see and the way it's going, it's not for me. The society, the politics, no. Because we don't do that here.
Let's touch on that with the other guys, whoever wants to jump in.
Okay.
What do you see? I mean, I left there almost 7 years ago, and it was a little squirrely, but it was nothing like now.
Right.
And I don't want to mention candidates and all that kind of
Nope.
stuff, because we don't want to go there. But there just seems to be this major animosity that's just sort of like a current that's going throughout the communities and the towns and the cities. Did you notice that? Because you guys have been here a year, so that's 6 years after I got here.
You go to the U.S. now, and it's everything revolves around money. Everybody has their hand out wanting something from you. I just went through Christmas here. I spent $400 US buying a bunch of Christmas presents for the girls and family members. And my fiance gives rice to her family as Christmas presents. She says, this way I know they've had a hot meal. So I bought 400 kilos of rice and we passed it out. And little things go further. They're appreciative of that. Where in the States, unless it costs you $400 to go out to dinner one night with a couple of people and nobody cares.
Yeah.
Here, people really genuinely care.
I have one more question. I was going to do an entire video about this, but I think we can knock it out right here. I've heard from expats, foreigners, that their family sometimes supports them fully, and others are guilt-tripping them or no longer talking to them because they moved, not just necessarily here, but they moved away. Now, I can see it if you've got 6 or 7 or 8-year-old kids at home. I can't buy into that. I think you should stay and finish, what you started as far as raising your family. Unless the wife has just got you totally blocked off and you can't see them due to a court order. But I think that's pretty rare. So I've heard of like 30-year-old, 20-year-old, 25-year-old children. I've heard of mothers, fathers, cousins, sisters, brothers that say, you're crazy, you're nuts, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I mean, have you experienced anything like that from your families?
I know that I have not.
You have not.
My family is very supportive. Maybe they would rather I stay there. They haven't really voiced that. It's like, whatever, if you're happy, that's all we care about. So in my case, it's been very supportive.
I have 2 sons. They're adults. So I have a 38 and a 40-year-old. The 40-year-old doesn't talk to me.
He doesn't talk to you?
Nope. I don't know what the problem is.
Now, was that prior to coming out
He
here?
never
or
was.
because you came out here?
No, it was pretty much prior. He doesn't really talk to me. He does still. It's less. I notice less though. Like he doesn't call me for Father's Day or for Christmas. I'll send him a Merry Christmas or I'll send him his birthday, Happy Birthday or things like that. I don't hear from him too much. And I would say it's less since I've been out here, but maybe it's because time has moved on. I don't know.
Out of sight, out of mind?
I think so. He never really was happy with my lifestyle in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the problem. I have a younger son. I said he's going to be, he's 38. And he misses me, but he has his own life. He has his own family, his own life. So he doesn't, when we were together living in the same apartment back in the States, we didn't get along. Okay? So we had to separate. Okay? So we actually ended up getting separate apartments in Las Vegas. Now, it's cordial. You know, we call each other. We say we love each other, but you know, he has his own life, so it's not a problem for me. I don't have anybody else.
I never had any children of my own. I had 2 stepchildren. Since the divorce, I haven't heard from either one of them. Like Danny, we both call our mothers every Sunday, video chat with them.
Right.
My mother is ecstatic that I'm here. She sees a smile on my face that I hadn't had in years. And she says, God bless you.
Yeah. I think that's healthy. I think that,
Very healthy.
you know, kids are raised for exports if we're talking about kids.
Yep.
And they're meant to go off on their own and develop their own lives. And all 3 of my kids were very happy for me also.
I
They said,
think
Dad, you deserve it. You worked hard. You did
Exactly.
this." But then I get these stories every now and then from guys that say they're being guilt-tripped. And my answer is, well, how old's your daughter? Well, she's 28. And what does she do? She's a CPA. And she makes $80,000 a year. But she's saying she never sees me anymore. And I said to the guy, I said, did you ever ask her to buy a ticket and come see you?
Exactly.
You know, I'm not close to my siblings. We never talked anyway, so it didn't matter to me. And you know, it would be different if I had a mother and father. Either one, they're passed for many years. But if I had, though, I would want to take care of my mom and dad, of course. If I had young children, I would, and I'm close to them, or if I had grandchildren, that would be difficult too. I don't have any of that.
Okay.
So I'm not missed, and I'm not missing anything too much.
So if you guys could be honest as pie here, what's the one thing that annoys you the most about the Philippines or Dumaguete? There's got to be something. It's not perfect.
Traffic.
Traffic. Okay, we got traffic. What do we get from you, brother?
Weather, I don't like humidity.
The humidity.
Humidity.
Okay, so there's a negative.
I mean, it's very dry in Las Vegas, and
Right.
it's very humid here. It's like Florida.
Okay.
I'm getting used to it, but it's not as burning hot. But I would like it to be drier and warmer
Got
for
it.
me. That's weather.
Okay. Danny.
I would have to say probably traffic was the hardest to adjust to because it's not done here like it is everywhere else.
Uh-huh.
And
That's true.
it also goes back to you have to change your attitude.
Exactly.
Stop having so much expectation that something is going to go, you know, a certain way.
Okay.
So yes, it still frustrates me, but I catch myself being frustrated going, well, what's your hurry?
Yeah.
That's
So
that's the one
it's
thing.
not hard to overcome.
That's the one thing I agree with Danny. If we're retired, we don't have to be in a hurry.
Yeah, there's no hurry.
Slow down.
So it's the old mindset
Yep.
that out of habit comes back to you. So yeah, it comes back to mindset.
Everybody said get a car, it's safer. I love riding a motor scooter. I love it. I feel the freedom. I really enjoyed it. The thing is, you got to watch out for the other guy, and you got to go slower. Let them pass. They're in a big hurry. Let them go. I don't care if it's a car or bike. Bye. Enjoy your life, because I'm enjoying mine. Okay? Not in a hurry.
Final question. I know everybody watching this is dying to know. How do the 3 of you manage to stay so slim and trim?
The food.
Actually, I've lost. I've lost a lot. I was a size 48 when I got here. I'm a size 42 now.
Okay? How
I'm
about
still
you,
big, but
I've lost weight.
You've lost weight.
I cannot keep my shorts up. I put my phone in my shorts. My shorts are in my
this
ankles.
is true.
Okay.
I have the same problem.
And we were discussing this earlier,
We did. When
and,
you were
and it
gone.
was funny because we've all lost. We might not have lost tens of pounds,
Right.
but we've lost size.
I've
Got
lost
it.
60 pounds since I've been here,
Perfect.
and
Danny?
I plan on losing more.
I've probably lost 20 pounds since I've been here. I lost a lot more because I was on a very aggressive diet for 2 years just to get here. And then I still have lost some weight. The fact that I have so much farther to go is just gives me something else to do.
Yeah. I've talked to, because you guys are big guys. And
Yep.
Don't tell anyone.
The camera makes it
Is
look
it
that way.
you were bigger, is the point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've lost weight.
Yeah. So
No.
I lost weight.
I feel better.
And I feel better. I know every one of you guys is healthy.
Yep.
And you look healthier than when I first met you.
Mentally and physically, I got to tell you, there's a lot less stress here too.
Yeah.
Now, it's not just the food. There's no fat. There's very little fast food. Typically, if you don't, you stay away from the McDonald's and the other ones, you know. But the food here is going to be healthier because it's natural. It's just going to be healthier. They eat more fish and vegetables here. So you're going to, if you start doing what the culture eats and start eating what, and you have a Filipina girlfriend or wife, she's going to cook what she knows to cook, which is healthier.
Yeah.
Just by definition it is, okay?
Yeah.
I wish they used more olive oil. They do use vegetable oil a lot, so they like a lot of fried. But mentally, I could be a whole nother subject mentally. The stress level drops. You don't have any of the stress. It's just
Once you're settled in,
yeah.
I would say the first
Three-
couple of weeks can
three-
be pretty stressful.
I would say 3 months, even a
Yeah.
month or two.
Yeah, because you're trying to find an apartment, you're trying to
There's a lot of
navigate,
things you
you're trying
don't
to
know.
get used to where you're
You don't know where you're going.
how to change
Yeah.
money and this and that and the
Yeah.
other. And so, yeah, there is a lot of knucklehead stuff. I think some guys get here and they're here for 2 weeks and they get so weirded out by all of that that they just give up.
They give, yeah.
Yeah, now you
My
got to step
timeline
back.
is 6 months. What's yours to say?
I would say at least 3 months to get started.
You're done. And then you know.
When I was here 3 months, I knew how to exchange my money. I had a condo already. I wish I hadn't jumped on the first condo that I looked at because I ended up hating the place.
Right.
3 months later, I moved into a brand new house. I have a nice 3-bedroom, 1-level house with 2 baths and everything else, and I'm very happy.
Cool.
Don't jump into the first place you find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take your time. Look around a little bit.
What's
Ask
your
a lot of
timeline,
questions.
Goldfinger, for a new guy coming over here? What do you think is a logical time for him to give himself before he says yes or no?
Well, honestly, 3 months.
3 months.
I mean, if he comes here for a week or two, he's not going to understand anything.
Yeah.
He's going to be lost. And not even a month. You need 3 months. Talk to other expats that are real expats that are there to help you out. Find out the information of who's good and who's bad as a real estate agent. What's a good area? What's a bad area? You know, some guys like the ocean. I do not. I do not like sand and ocean. So some guys love sand and ocean. They're going to go down to Bakong and Dowey. I don't like it. I don't like the city. So I go the opposite way. I'm halfway towards Valencia. Valencia is the absolute opposite. It's the mountains. So it's going to be cooler and less people.
Which is where we are right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a total left turn on all of this.
Oh boy.
Cool.
It all boils down to temperament. So first, know yourself.
Yep.
Second, study the environment you're going into, whether it's here or somewhere else. And third, have the temperament and the patience to give things time to see if you can blend in or not. If you don't have the temperament for it, if you have certain demands that everything must be thus and so, then a place like this is not going to be for you.
Patience.
But
A lot
if you
of
have
patience.
patience,
A lot of patience.
and if you have the ability to be flexible with your mind. I got here and I never regretted a minute of it. I felt like I just fell into heaven, and everything I stepped into was whipped cream. It just,
The first thing they warned me when I checked into the hotel was, oh, we're sorry about the roosters out back. Roosters out back? That's great. I enjoy that sound in the morning. The dogs, them get a little obnoxious sometimes, but it's nothing to have roosters and chickens and everything else wandering around. You have to be careful driving because they walk around the road in front of you. But this is a great life here.
Well, we'll leave it at that, guys.
All right.
Thanks so
It
much
was
for
good.
coming on. I hope this is helpful for anybody watching.
We hope so too.
We don't want to paint a picture of this as a perfect place.
No.
If it was
It's-
a perfect place, everyone would live there.
It's not for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not,
Yeah,
for
it's not
everybody.
perfect. Don't come here.
Yeah. Go to Cebu.
Yeah.
Boho's calling for you. Angeles City. Go.
All
Bye.
right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you
Later.
guys in the next video.